How would Russia's invasion of Ukraine affect the US economy? Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today we will be speaking about how Russia's invasion of Ukraine will affect the American economy. Please watch the entire video to figure out all the details. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and click the bell icon. Alright then, let's get started. The Ukrainian public has exhibited remarkable fortitude despite an alarming danger from Russia. Since the main assault on February 24, Ukrainians have opposed and pushed back on Putin's ingenuity to control the district. Putin's perspective, Russia should recapture its predominance on the world's stage, regardless of whether it implies heartlessly butchering moms, children, and a large group of honest regular people. Indeed, it's grievous. The monetary aftermath is the fundamental component of Russia's endeavor to assume control over Ukraine. Positively, Russians will feel its brunt given the approvals demanded against the nation, and Ukraine will endure significantly also. Europe will feel monetary torment as it depends on Russia to meet its energy needs. Might there be an overflow impact in America? Is a US downturn conceivable? To put it, indeed, it's genuinely reasonable. As per the US Energy Information Administration, Europe is a vital objective for Russia's energy. In 2021, Russia traded 49% of its raw petroleum and condensates and 74% of its flammable gas to Europe. So Europe is Russia's most prominent energy client. A large portion of the crude went to the Netherlands, Germany, and Poland, while most of Russia's petroleum gas went to Germany, Turkey, Italy, and France. Indeed, Europe is exceptionally subject to Russia for energy, and switching off is no simple assignment. Europe infers almost 25% of its energy from gaseous petrol, and dropping the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which would run between Russia and Germany, would influence its future gas imports. In counter, Russia has examined halting the progression of petroleum gas to Europe. Energy is a significant worry in Europe, one of the world's most energy-subordinate districts. Thus, anticipate that the European economy should slow, adversely affecting the US. While strains between Russia and Ukraine have been ascending for a long time, the present military activity raises the dangers of an extended struggle inside Ukraine and worries about the likely effect of monetary business sectors and the worldwide economy. Luckily, history shows that while international emergencies can briefly bother markets, for example the one between Russia and Ukraine, they don't usually have long-haul ramifications for financial backers. As Dirk Hofstra of Fidelity's Asset Allocation Research Team says, as a rule, these kinds of emergencies will often lastingly affect worldwide monetary business sectors if they macroeconomically affect significant economies. While Russia's economy positions as the world's 11th biggest as per the International Monetary Fund, at just 1/12 the size of the US and 1/16 the size of China, it is logically not large enough without anyone else to influence worldwide business sectors or financial development, regardless of whether it experiences enormous financial harm because of authorizations against it by the US and Europe. Because Russia is additionally the wellspring of 10% of the world's energy, almost half of the energy consumed in Europe, the contention presence takes a chance past the two nations' lines, including higher energy costs and expanding monetary market unpredictability. While business sectors responded with restrictions to the intrusion of Ukraine, Fidelity's international gamble expert David Bridges says financial backers shouldn't preclude higher instability in the long periods to come. This is the beginning of another virus war. The contention could take an assortment of structures and isn't probably going to be settled soon. Over the long haul, it would be the more challenging to get data about what's going on in Ukraine, which will add to vulnerability, he says. Another variable that will probably impact the effect of the circumstance on the economy and markets is how Russia answers Western assent against its monetary advantages and limitation of commodities on advancements utilized by the Russian military. A lull in Europe from the conflict in Ukraine is nevertheless one of the elements that will drive US financial development. Taking care of the strategy is another. What will the war mean for the US economy? Many global organizations in the US get income from Eastern Europe, assuming Europe's economy eases back. Many organizations could encounter a decrease in income. Which organizations are most in danger? The following are a couple of views of income as a level of total income from the contention zone. The rundown incorporates Philip Morris, 8%, PepsiCo Pep, 0.3%, 4.4%, Mohawk Industries MHK 5.1%, 4.3%, McDonald's Corporation 4.2%, and Carnival Corporation 3.6%. There are others, yet these are the main five. Assuming that Russia keeps on taking up arms against Ukraine, the income misfortune experienced by the US organizations could send stock costs lower. However, there is one more genuine danger to the US economy. Enter the Federal Reserve. Taking care of strategy is one more key determinant for the US economy. After almost 14 years of a zero financing cost strategy and 2 years of the outrageous money-related upgrade, the Fed has reported to finish to both. In its last gathering, the Fed raised its monetary financing cost by 0.25%, denoting that initial time since launching emergency it has been more prominent than nothing. With 5 to 7 extra rate increments and the expulsion of the overabundance of money-related boosts, the Fed endeavored to control expansion. For what reason is expansion so raised? Growth happens at whatever point request is tangibly more noteworthy than supply. This time the increase rose due to COVID-related inventory network interferences and repressed requests. It is likewise enormously impacted by the rising energy expenses like the cost of oil, gaseous petrol, gas, and more exorbitant food prices. Ukraine and Russia give around 25% of the worldwide stock of grains. Grains are utilized to take care of domesticated animals, ranch-raised fish, chicken, etc. Besides raising the probability of market unpredictability, the attack will probably add to the inflationary tensions by upsetting oil, petroleum gas, and wheat commodities from Russia and Ukraine and raising costs. The effects of the contention are probably going to change contingent upon geology. Europe, and especially nations, for example the Baltic states and Poland, are probably going to encounter a more significant number of hardships than nations that rely less upon Russia for energy. Russian gas is a significant wellspring of winter warming in Europe, and as of now, spiking costs have harmed European families and organizations. Western Europe, especially Germany, has no simple elective wellspring of energy to supplant Russian gaseous petrol. Hofschier says that the Russian-Ukraine struggle adds vulnerability to the strength of the monetary extension in Europe. While that infuses some exposures into the worldwide viewpoint, he says the US economy shows up somewhat protected from the contention. For individual financial backers and shoppers in the US, the impacts will likely be extra inflationary tensions because of higher energy costs. From a speculation point of view, the most significant effect is on Russian stocks, bonds, and cash. Higher oil and gas costs could additionally help North American energy organizations, whose stocks have been among the best entertainers throughout the most recent year. An expansion in transient financial exchange unpredictability is additionally possible. According to Hofschier, the Russian military activity probably adds to general market apprehension. Late securities exchange instability mirrors various financial backer worries, so one more wellspring of vulnerability and disturbance doesn't help. However, he says extra expansion pressures and higher unpredictability without anyone else won't cause a downturn in the US. Regardless of international dangers, US financial backers shouldn't fail to focus on the drawn-out potential open doors that global stocks might offer. Without a doubt, Hofschier's group anticipates that worldwide stocks should outflank US stocks over the following 20 years. Those assumptions mostly mirror how US stocks have risen more than those of different nations throughout the recent years, and US stock valuations are presently high by authentic guidelines. President Biden's ban on Russian energy imports, regardless of whether it adds to higher gas costs, more expansion pressure. It is a place that Biden took on when he recognized that forbidding Russian energy imports would force prices on the United States. How enormous will these expenses be? A reasonable update that making financial forecasts is a dangerous pursuit. After Biden made his declaration, oil costs fell by more than 10% in the 3 days. That was an uplifting advancement. However, the more drawn out of the conflict, the greater the monetary expenses will probably be for all sides. In transforming from a simple money-related arrangement to a fixing strategy, the Fed should be cautious that it doesn't go excessively far and cause a downturn. For instance, if the Fed kept fixing inventory network issues and settling the conflict, the US economy might contract. The Fed can impact the exciting side of the expansion condition, so it should watch the inventory side intently. In this way, assuming that the conflict in Ukraine finishes up and COVID-related production network issues are settled, the Fed keeps on fixing. A downturn is an incredible chance, however most business analysts don't expect it until 2023. Well, that's all we have for today. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.